Welcome, 8th grader, to today's explainer. We're about to embark on a true detective's journey into literature. We're going to uncover the hidden truths buried right there within the text. You see, the best authors out there, they don't just hand you every single detail on a silver platter. Nope, they leave clues. And as a reader, you get to step right into the role of lead investigator, piecing together evidence to figure out what's really going on beneath the surface. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with reading between the lines, then move into making logical inferences, and explore the 3 types of text connections. After that, it's your turn to practice. And we'll wrap up by looking at what it really means to be a godly learner. So let's dive right into our first topic, reading between the lines, or as I like to call it, the detective's journey. The big idea here is understanding that reading between the lines is just as important as reading the lines themselves. Take a look at Jeremiah 33:3. God says, "Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." It's such a cool parallel. Just as we're learning to search for hidden meanings in our literature books, God actually promises to reveal deeper, unsearchable truths in our lives when we diligently seek Him. The academic skills you're building right now directly reflect how we seek wisdom in our spiritual walk. Moving on to making logical inferences, it is officially time to start hunting down those hidden clues. We uncover those hidden messages with one really powerful concept. Make sure you write this definition down in your notes right now. Inference, using clues in the text to figure out what the author doesn't state directly. This is your primary tool. It's literally the magnifying glass in your detective kit. You're taking what the author gives you, combining it with your own awesome brain power, and drawing a conclusion that makes perfect sense. In practice, this is actually surprisingly simple. Imagine you're reading a scene where a character storms into a room, violently slams the door, and just refuses to speak. Your detective brain instantly infers that they're angry. But notice something. The author never actually used the word angry. Because of the character's actions, the clues, you figured it out anyway. Bam, that's an inference. Now, here is the absolute most crucial point. You can't just guess. Every single inference you make must be solidly backed up by actual evidence from the text. You couldn't just infer that the door-slamming character is, say, sleepy, right? There's zero textual evidence for sleepiness. Slamming doors points directly to anger or frustration. If you're going to make a claim about a character or a plot twist, you have to be able to point right back to the book and say, hey, I know this because the text provides this specific evidence. All right, let's look at the 3 text connections and how we can really expand the meaning of what we read. Finding clues is great, but actively making connections, that's what makes reading so much more meaningful. There are 3 distinct ways you can connect any piece of literature outward: text to self, text to text, and text to world. The more of these connections you make, the more the words on the page absolutely come alive. Plus, actively searching for these connections deeply strengthens your critical thinking, which, let's be honest, is a totally essential skill for real-life problem solving long after you graduate. The first one is text to self. This simply means connecting literature to your own personal experiences. Think of a text to self connection like a mirror. You take the emotions, the struggles, or the events a character is going through, and you relate them directly to your own life. Have you ever read a book where a character felt totally misunderstood by their friends, and you thought, wow, I know exactly how that feels? Yep, that is a text-to-self connection. It makes the reading personal to you. Next up, we have the text-to-text connection. You make this when you bridge similar ideas across entirely different pieces of writing. For example, comparing Shakespeare's classic play Romeo and Juliet directly to the musical West Side Story. By connecting the shared theme of forbidden love across completely different settings, you build a bridge between 2 authors and see how universal ideas just echo through history. Finally, there's the text-to-world connection. This happens when reading a story reminds you of actual events happening in our broader society. For instance, say you're reading a dystopian novel about a strict government tracking its citizens' every move. That might immediately remind you of real-world discussions happening in the news today about digital privacy and freedom. You are connecting the fictional world of the text to the very real world you live in right now. Okay, it's your turn to practice. Time to put on that detective hat and tackle some homework challenges. Let's look at your first 2 tasks. For question 1, you need to find those hidden clues in a character's behavior. Think back to our door slamming example. I want you to infer how a character feels based purely on their actions in a scene. Then, for question 2, you're going to practice that mirror effect. Make a text-to-self connection from a story you've recently read and reflect on how that piece of literature mirrors your own personal experiences. Moving on to questions 3 and 4. Next, you need to bridge the gap between two different pieces of literature. Make a text-to-text connection between two works you know well that shares similar themes. Then, for question 4, look outward. Make a text-to-world connection by tying a piece of literature directly to a current event happening in the news or society today. Show me you can really see those links between fiction and reality. And for your 5th and final challenge, I want you to articulate exactly why our literary detective work relies entirely on solid proof rather than mere imagination. Explain in your own words why inferences require evidence from the text. Why can't we just make up any meaning we want? I want you to really defend the importance of textual evidence. Finally, let's talk about what it means to be a godly learner, finding wisdom that goes way beyond just head knowledge. This concept is absolutely vital. At HeroesMart Academy, we purposely intertwine biblical morality with your education because, frankly, education without morality can truly hurt. Knowledge and intelligence, like the reading skills you just learned, they're meant to help you make wise, God-honoring choices, not simply make you more capable or successful in the eyes of the world. Think about it. A super smart person without a strong moral compass can do a lot of damage. Your intellect is a tool given by God to be used for His glory. Look at the incredible wisdom found in Romans 8, 6-7. It says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." This profound truth teaches us that keeping your mind spiritually focused is the only path that leads to true life and peace. Because let's face it, all the text-to-world connections in the universe won't bring you real peace if your mind isn't firmly anchored in the spirit. So, 8th grader, I'll leave you with this final thought. Education plus biblical morality equals wise choices. As you pursue academic excellence and uncover all those hidden meanings in literature, I really encourage you to keep your mind centered on God, truth, wisdom, and righteous choices. You've got the detective tools to read the world around you now, but will you use them to seek out God's unsearchable truths today? Have a fantastic time tackling your homework, and I'll see you in our next explainer.